Alright, now we've got the glazing putty on there, it's dried. And we're going to go ahead and start sanding. Like I said, we're going to use 80 grit just to kind of level it out, and then we're going to switch to 150. Remember I mentioned like this spot that we left on there, if we let it dry, see I just barely push it, it comes off. And this again kind of is a good reason why you want to sand something. It has to be on a sanded surface. If it's not sanded, it's not going to adhere properly. So if it does get on your painted surfaces, just wait till it dries, and it'll peel right off. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit this, and when I'm using 80, I don't want to get 80 scratches all in here and back in here or anything like that. So I'm just kind of wanting to work in the center areas with this 80 grit, just to kind of level it out, work get it a little bit smoother, then we'll switch. Still want to cross sand. That'll ensure you got a level surface. If you just constantly go in one direction, it's going to start falling a contour and may come out not level. Notice I'm staying within the filler area, the glazing filler area. Just kind of wanting to get a level. We still want to leave quite a bit on there that we can sand out with the 150. Okay, notice I've got it sanded. Didn't really worry about the edges at this point because I want to do that with the 150 grit. But I got all this sanded. Needs a little bit of work in there. But we're going to go ahead and start switch to the 150, but before I do, I want to put a little guide coat on here. And what this is, it's a black spray that we put on here. They've got this kind, they've also got it in dry form. I want to spray a little bit on here. And what that's going to do is that's going to help me identify the lows. So if there's a low area or if there's a scratch that's not sanded out, you know, it's going to stay in that area, and that way it kind of helps me identify the lows that way. Okay, now I'm going to start sanding with the 150. Now I'm going to start concentrating more on these edges, and be sure to cross sand those edges out, and that's what's going to help feather it into the painted surface. You can see right here that showed me that there's still a little bit of a low area there. I think it's going to sand out, but I am starting to hit metal and the body filler a little bit, so I don't want to sand too much more. If it actually doesn't sand out pretty fast, you may have to put on some more glaze in that area. Concentrating on this edge right now, cross sanding, just trying to get it to feather in good. Work out on it over here a little bit. Alright, here's a little tip also. Your sandpaper is going to get sanding dust on it. It's going to make it where it doesn't sand quite as good. If you get an old scuff pad or something and just rub it on there a couple times, that helps keep it clean. It prolongs the life of the sandpaper and helps you sand this off a little quicker. So, getting pretty close. It's starting to feel level. Still need a little bit right here. Edges are feeling pretty good. So sand just a little bit more and we'll just about have this. All right, now everything's feathered in. You don't feel any of your feather edges. This has got all your small scratches filled in from your 36 grit and your 80 grit. And now we have it finished out in 150 grit sandpaper. So now we're ready to go ahead and prep the rest of the fender for paint. And then we'll get this ready for primer.